Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Cleophas Malala is not very happy, and what is saddening Cleophas Malala is that after William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza team pronounced that Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula were to produce 70% of the Western vote for them to be given posts in the government, it has now emerged that there is an inside plan by the UDA handlers in Kakamega, or rather in Western, to make sure that Musalia Mudavadi does not achieve that. We have ever mentioned that the 70% was actually a trap. But let's also put a very good argument that Professor Kithure Kindiki and Simon Gakuru, the ANC Secretary General, has announced. They've said that the 70% was part of the coalition plan to make sure that they win government, that they win the presidency. What they were simply saying is that the coalition needed to get 70% from Western Kenya for them to form the government, not that it was under Musalia Mudavadi. They are also saying that the 70% Western bloc that they need is not a responsibility, a sole responsibility of Mudavadi and Wetangula, but it is a responsibility of the coalition. If you ask me, that is just sugarcoating. Malala is captured on record saying that Cleophas Boni Khalwale, Benjamin Washeli, and other leaders from Western Kenya are driving up support for the UDA candidates in Kakamega. But he's being banned, or rather he's being criticized by the UDA leaders and even from the headquarters to campaign for the UDA candidates and not to campaign for the ANC candidates. Now that is a bit of blackmailing, because Malala is the chairman of ANC in Kakamega, and what the UDA aspirants are saying, that if he calls for a 6-piece of UDA, or rather ANC in Kakamega, in what is seen as campaigning for ANC candidates in Kakamega, that is most likely going to hurt his basket. I think I find that narrative a bit blackmailing, because UDA do not have a governor candidate in Kakamega. The governor candidate in Kakamega is Cleophas Malala. But Malala is being told that he should not campaign for the ANC candidates, but rather campaign for UDA candidates. Why? In clear sense, there is a sibling rivalry that is happening in Kakamega. And this is not just Kakamega alone, because Didmus Baraza at one point also mentioned that he was only going to campaign for the leaders, the aspirants that vie through the UDA and not any other party within the Kenya Kwanza. So let me just explain something that is also in this story. Cleophas Malala, vying as a governor, would also want to win many MCAs under the ANC, because the ANC, or rather the MCAs, members of county assembly, are the members that will be in a position to work with him. In any case, the opposition, maybe the ODM party or UDA party, wins many MCAs in Kakamega. Cleophas Malala might find it very difficult to work with these MCAs if the MCAs are not from his own party. So what he's simply trying to do is try to consolidate a team that can work with him if he becomes the governor of Kakamega. But it's not really understatement to mention that likelihood of Mudavadi did not campaign, or rather did not lobby for zoning of the Western region. How is Mudavadi going to signing the deal and accepting everything else? But in the issue of the party zoning, if Kenya Kwanza was very honest with Musalia, then the areas of Vihiga and Kakamega would have been left for the ANC candidates, for the ANC to field candidates, so that there is no sibling rivalry between the parties. I want you to listen to Cleophas Malala when he was talking wholeheartedly about this issue.
Huko juu tumeheshimu UDA, tumewapatia viti kubwa kubwa. Mheshimiwa William Ruto, kwa bedroom yetu hapa chini, viti zetu moto moto. Sasa usiingilie. Tunataka ANC pia ikuwe na wabunge, ndio tuheshimiane, si ndio? Sababu baada ya kura tutahesabiana. Watasema Mudavadi songa huku na watu yako, wewe Ruto songa hivi na watu yako, alafu waanze kutuambia ati hamkufikisha 70%. Mumetuambia tufikishe 70% of votes so that we can get the 30%. Pia hiyo 70% mpaka ikiwe na wabunge wetu ndani. So leo nimekuja hapa kusema vile tumepeana kule juu, hapa chini mimi ndio chairman wa ANC. I want to commit myself na support wa Mati. Sasa watu wa UDA hawatanipatia kura, hiyo mambo tuache bana. We have given you, tuko hapa hata na watu wa UDA, si ndio? Lakini mruhusu pia mimi niwe na demokrasia, sababu mheshimiwa Washiali ameshika mkono mapuoni, mheshimiwa Khalwale ameshika mkono mapuoni. Hao hawataki mimi nishike mkono, ndugu yangu.
In the light of this, guys, what are you seeing? If you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also give us your feedback. From Kakamega, honestly, I know it is close to impossible for Musalia Mudavadi to get 70%. But why do you think William Ruto decided to set that trap? The issue of betrayal is a bit basic. Can you think deep and tell me why you really think that Mudavadi was trapped by that 70%? But there is some interpretation that you can see from this outburst. The betrayal plan on Mudavadi is being taken to the other level. There is one baseline here. Musalia Mudavadi is not likely going to deliver 70%. He's going to deliver a percentage, let's say perhaps 30 or 40 of Kakamega and Vihiga. But now, that notwithstanding, if UDA win more seats, for example, UDA win more MCA seats and more MP seats in Kakamega and Vihiga, then they will actually summon Musalia Mudavadi and say that whatever he has brought is not his sole responsibility, but the candidates, the votes that William Ruto got in Kakamega and Vihiga were because of the UDA candidates. Now, that's a very valid argument. Now, that is a very valid argument, and it will be the other level of betrayal. The first betrayal was making sure he's not going to receive 70, and so whatever he's going to get when he receives, when he brings 30 or 40%, might also be reduced based on the MPs that he has received. Now, this betrayal here is very critical. The moment Musalia Mudavadi doesn't win MPs, senators and MCS in Kakamega, and William Ruto do not form the next government, I can surely tell you that this is going to spell a doom on him. And if you normally watch my channel, I mentioned that Ruto was out to destroy Musalia Mudavadi. There was no any other language, there is no other way to explain it. So the betrayal will also going to help him make sure that he doesn't win MCS or MP seats in Kakamega. But then, the way Cleophas Malala is talking, he is saying that the UDA leadership wants him to campaign for UDA candidates even though he is an ANC governor candidate. Then what are you seeing here? What I'm seeing here is that there is a likelihood that Cleophas Malala was funded by William Samoei Ruto. That the deal to step down so that he vies for the governor, the deal for Khalwale to step down was that he was going to be planted in Kakamega as an ANC candidate but fully funded to support the UDA. Because the question that will beg is this: what kind of allegiance would Malala have with UDA as of now, even though he's vying for governor through ANC? Then most likely, because Malala also is the person that is touted to have brought Musalia Mudavadi to William Ruto, what Ruto did is to take Mudavadi's foot soldiers. So when they moved to Kenya Kwanza, there was no way Mudavadi was going to remain the other side alone. Malala is likely being funded by UDA leadership. But then, Kenya Kwanza clash in Kakamega most likely will benefit ODM. Because without that party zoning, then what's going to play out is a seat where, a rival where UDA, ANC are going to campaign against ODM and DPK candidates. So if DPK and ODM can reconcile themselves and field single candidates in those positions, or rather let's say that constituent parties within the Azimio can agree and field single candidates, then they can outsmart the Kenya Kwanza candidates, the ones that especially are going to be in Kakamega. But of the person that is going to receive much of this detrimental effect is William Ruto. With this clash among aspirants, what is most likely to happen is they will not be so much strong on supporting William Ruto. And as you can see, there are some candidates, ANC candidate who endorsed Raila Odinga. Most likely, they will support their candidature at the level of MCA and constituency, but up there, because their allegiance to William Ruto will not be firm, most likely they will say, vote for the person you want. That already is a statement that is going to add votes to Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga. So that's also playing out. But then, is there also an indication that Cleophas Malala's candidature is being sabotaged? Cleophas Malala candidature is being sabotaged by the UDA leadership in Kakamega. Because one, for him to campaign well and use campaign structures of ANC, he has to campaign for ANC candidates. If anything, he is the ANC chairman. Now, if UDA is telling him to campaign for UDA candidates while he is in ANC, then most likely that the UDA fanatics, because in Kakamega UDA has the largest number of voters, or rather the largest number of funds compared to, not UDA, ANC has more funds than UDA. So most likely, he's going to break ranks with the ANC candidates, and the moment he has broken ranks with the ANC candidates, things are going to fall apart. And before he knows, Fernandez Baraza and Ayub Savula might run away with that seat as early as 8 a.m. There is an inside deal, and I think this needs to be addressed. The bigger picture will be a loss on Musalia Mudavadi's 70% promise, or rather 70% threshold, and also a loss on Cleophas Malala's gubernatorial bid. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Kakamega and you can get the comment section, some of these politicians follow our channels, tell us whether Malala should campaign through ANC or embrace the UDA agenda.